Good morning, fellow traders. Bubblehead here, and it's time for the Good Morning Market Prep for Thursday, May the 7th, 2020. I hope everybody had a great night last night. This is brought to you by Positive Trends Research, and everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice, so please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome. All right, let's take a look and see where we left off in the market yesterday. So S&P cash, the SPX, double inside month still. We closed below the mid-Bollinger Band here, or yesterday, so the month is obviously not over yet. So still below the mid-Bollinger Band. Let's see if we can get some strength and work its way up there. Upper shadow last week off of the open gap. So let's see, we're green right now above that week, but let's see if it pushes down below it. If it does, it could get a little bit scary right there. Otherwise, if it breaks above it, we might see that 30 weekly moving average. Daily chart, we're still in the trend box. We're still in the chop zone. So, got to be careful here. We're below the upper trend line, but we are showing some relative strength in the market here this morning. So let's see if that can continue to hold into the job numbers today. Let's take a look at the SPY. So we had a very low volume choppy day yesterday and an inside day. So let's see if we get a little bit more of a move today. Maybe we break out of that inside day and get a range one way or the other. Let's take a look at how we're doing pre-market. So they're trying to push it up here today. We had a very choppy day intraday, right? Big triangle and then just a breakdown at the end of the day. So we're kind of in that triangle range right now. So we're back into the inside day range here this morning. And let's see how that holds. If we break out over the highs, we might get a pop to the upside, but let's see how the job numbers go this morning to see how that affects things. A lot of times we have a bad jobs number and then we end up launching on it. So maybe there'll be a good jobs number and it'll come back down below the triangle. We'll see exactly how that goes. Let's take a look at the S&P futures and see what they did last night. So we talked about this on the live stream yesterday. And so it was a pretty interesting session, right? So we gapped down and they pushed it up. And then once we broke down below those, we had a nice low and then a big reversal off this double inside 15 low. And then we pushed our way up, right? Retested a couple of these levels, came back, broke through this level, came back, retested it, right? It came back. What did I say last? I said we might test here and we might test here. So we got through those. Those became levels of price discovery. So we hung out there for a little bit, held, right? And then we got back to the triangle range, pause, and then we launched out of there, right? And then we retested this major level right here, and now here we are just kind of chopping around into the job numbers today. So job numbers, again, we don't know if they're bad, they could go up. If they're good, they could go up. So the next levels that we're really contending with right here is this 2886 level. So we have that to look at here. And once again, the numbers below it, really this 2865 seems to be a pretty popular level here. So so let's see how that holds too. So a breakdown below there, we may come back to this 2856. But we did stair step up pretty nicely last night, so it'll take some work to get it back down. So we'll see how that goes today. So look for some resistance up here at this 2886 to 2890, and potential support here at 2865 and 2856-ish area. So keep an eye on that going in today. MES. Still essentially doing the exact same thing right here, but what we can do on this one is just, add a trend line up on that. So nice channel up here this morning. So again, a breakdown below that channel could see again, a couple of these levels right here, that 2860 area. So that could be interesting going into today. All right, well, let's take a look at the Qs this morning and see how they're going into today. Yeah, so nice gap. So far, a gap up over yesterday's high, starting to pull back a little bit here. So again, let's just kind of wait on the job numbers. Let's see where we were. Here we're dealing with the ascending triangle, so let's see if we can break out over that. Let's take a look at the IWM. So IWM just kind of hanging out right now. We're contained by this geometric line, right? And we've got a pretty big triangle that we're working on here too. So and we're also stuck in the cloud. So we have that going on too. Next, let's take a look at the another ETF. Let's take a look at the XLF. So the financials have been interesting and have been showing relative weakness and have kind of been leading the market down on any down move. So a lot of times the moves down have been early in the XLF before the rest of the market. So that should be pretty interesting here. We've got a kind of a geometric level that we started to break down yesterday. Not quite increasing volume, so I want to see if we break down below those lows today. So obviously we're gapping up today with the rest of the market, so we'll see how that holds. That's why we like to wait for confirmation and volume. Very, very important stuff. So okay, so that being said, let's take a look at Apple. So Apple doing pretty good here. It's holding its trend, working its way up. We're getting to the top of the ascending triangle. Some, would look at this as a potential rising wedge here. But again, let's see what we do. If we can get, a strong candle to break out of this ascending triangle here with some good volume, we may see more upside on Apple. Tesla, down. Well, it was down a little bit this morning. Apparently, they're having trouble manufacturing their Shanghai factory because of lack of parts. but it's getting pretty tight here this morning, so let's just kind of see how it handles this symmetrical triangle going into the open today on Tesla. SQ still down on earnings, but kind of trudged its way up. It's about a 50% retracement right here, so that's one thing you could look at. So we got this going on right here. So we're just at the 50% retrace. So see how that holds going into the open, and if they any dip buyers come in on that one. PayPal definitely up nicely here this morning, up to 140, very, very strong. I'd like to see it get above the stay above the pre-market highs, but we may see a nice gap and go on PayPal today. So keep an eye on that. As long as we're above the pre-market highs this morning, there could be a setup for that. Let's take a look at Lyft. Am I seeing this right? All right, so Lyft is gapping up here. So yeah, originally it was kind of a little choppy before that, but I guess decreasing business is good. So anyway, keep an eye on the after hours highs right here. So if it gets over that 31.14, we may see a move up. Let's see. Really, the gap and go level here is above this 35.11 level. So see how it holds there. But it should get start to work its way back up into the cloud there. That's why earnings are really tricky, guys. So don't gamble into earnings, right? Unless you have only freebies, paid for runners. Even Win, right? Really expected that to go down too. They just had a little quick pop to the downside. It's basically just kind of chopping around here this morning. So that's another one to keep an eye on. And Piton is up huge today. So somebody called this like a juggernaut, but it's it is what it is. Let's take a look here. So over 46, I believe puts it at all-time high. So see if we get a gap and go on Peloton today, and then mRNA. One of the big Corona plays here is up about 6 points here on earnings. So big number to get above is this 56.38. And it's going to be a little bit tough here. It needs to get some more strength here into the pre-market level. So anyway, good stuff into today. It should be a fun one. So hopefully we get a little more movement than the last 3 days, and maybe get some tradable moves today. And we'll be looking forward to it. So see you guys at the lunchtime market update. And I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you soon.